What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Sports Planet podcast. I'm joined by Daniel Tanious for episode 12 today. How you doing on this May the 4th be with you?
I'm doing great. Lakers passed the first round. Tomorrow's Cinco de Drinko, so I'm
Oh,
happy.
God. Cinco de Drinko. I'm going to tell you this right now. No Mexican really celebrates that. That's more about American holiday for the Cinco de Drinko. But whatever. So on today's episode, we'll be covering round two of the NBA playoffs, this whole Dillon Brooks situation, and how Draymond Green might really be the biggest LeBron fan. All right. So, like I said, first we'll be starting with the NBA playoffs in the Western Conference. We got the Denver Nuggets leading their series against the Phoenix Suns 2-0 with Game 3 tomorrow night in Phoenix. And then the other series in the West, of course, is the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Golden State Warriors. Lakers currently lead that series 1-0. Game 2 will be tonight, the day of the recording. So obviously, like I just said, we're recording before Game 2. So what we say about it will be prediction-based and not based off the actual game itself. And in the East, both series are tied one game apiece, and one series being the Boston Celtics versus the 76ers, and the other being the New York Knicks versus the Miami Heat. So let's start off with the Eastern Conference real quick, because I'm sure we'll talk more Lakers. So what have you seen so far out of the Eastern Conference semifinals so far?
To be honest, I was surprised that the Knicks went through because I had Cavs winning
Yeah,
in 7, but happy
we
for the
both did, yeah.
Knicks. And didn't have Miami going through either, so I had two teams I didn't predict going through, but that's
Yeah,
just the
yeah.
game. Great to see the matchup. Jimmy Butler got injured in game 1, played through it, missed game 2. If he's out, I think it's a wrap for the Heat. But the Heat just look with him on the floor, Hemi Butler. He's top
Jimmy
five
Butler?
when it comes to playoffs. He turns up a switch, and he's just one of the best players in the league. So with him, I
Definitely.
think they could definitely get to the conference finals. But without him, I think the Knicks will be pulling off that series. But I will say it's a great series. Two underdogs meeting in the second round. You'd love to see it. So
Yeah, man. It's all like playoff Jimmy obviously didn't play game two, but they still only lost by 6. So it's all like
hmm
Jimmy Butler. Yeah, and then you can see him at the end of the game just like waving at the fans, like giving them that little head nod, like, okay, you guys got one, but I didn't play. It's all good. Just wait till game
hmm
3 in Miami. We'll see you then. So, but I'm sure all the Knicks fans are going crazy because we've seen them throughout this whole playoffs. After one game, they're acting like they won the championship, but I can't blame them after all this playoff disasters that they've not had, I guess, because they haven't had any playoffs recently aside from 2021.
hmm
But yeah, so we have that series right now. What have you seen out of the 76ers versus the Celtics series? Because right now they're also tied one game apiece. And we're honestly one James Harden three-pointer away from the Celtics being up 2-0 because game 1, we saw James Harden hit that game-winning 3 at the very end. And then game 2, complete different script, if you want to say. The
hmm
Celtics just came out and obliterated the 76ers. So without that shot, the Celtics could easily be up 2-0, but they're tied 1-1. What have you seen so far in this series?
I think the biggest takeaway is the fact that Philly had a chance to win without Embiid. Shows a lot
Mm-hmm.
of how the Celtics maybe aren't as good as everyone's putting them to be start the playoffs. I mean, they lost twice to Atlanta. Everyone thought that's a sweeper, 5 games at most, and they pushed it to
Yeah, yeah.
6. Almost pushed it to a game 7 until the fourth quarter. So Celtics look very beatable. I will say when Embiid wasn't there, you saw James Harden kind of reminisce of the Houston days where he's just primary
Mm-hmm.
ball handler, step back threes, creating for everyone. So he was that usage rate was super high in that game 1. So then when Embiid came back, he had to figure out how to adjust to that as well. But I will say the goal is when you're on the road just to steal one of the two. Sixers were
Definitely.
able to do that. I think it's a great series. I have this going 7, and I have Boston winning in 7. But I wouldn't be surprised if Philly's able to pull this out after they stole game 1 and Embiid, the reigning MVP right now,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
steps it
Congrats,
up. But I
Embiid.
will say I saw he also got due to his injury. I saw actually today that he was supposed to be out 4 to 6 weeks with this injury, and he came back in less than a week. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll see how that plays out. He's going to play through injury. Um, so I don't know. I feel like it could swing either way, but great series. Uh, yeah, that's my analysis for that series so far.
Yeah, yeah. Celtics. I agree with you. I have Celtics in 7. I feel like Embiid. I feel like that will be the difference maker. Embiid will not be 100%. So in the end, like I feel like he'll still have his big games, like when they're at home. But aside from that injury is going to keep him behind, keep him back, I should say. And the Celtics with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they already have that finals experience behind them. So I feel like that'll be the push, the advantage that they have. So I have the Celtics as well in 7. Right now that they're tied 1-1, and this Heat series, like you were saying, it can go either way. I feel like it's based off Jimmy Butler. I expect him to be back for Game 3. So as long as Jimmy doesn't miss any more time, I have the Heat winning this one, maybe in 7 as well. I'm not too sure on the games yet, but I have playoff Jimmy taking them to the Eastern Conference Finals to match up with the Boston Celtics. And we owe the Miami Heat an apology, obviously, in one episode where we were saying the winner of the A seed game gets the honor of going to lose to the Milwaukee Bucks. We were wrong, obviously. Giannis gets hurt. I'm not going to take that away from them. Whatever. I'm not going to make excuses. Even with Giannis back in the lineup, playoff Jimmy was playoff Jimmy, and he just completely took over. I feel like the Bucks lost that game for themselves in that elimination game. That was a game that they should have won, and they've messed up, and they let the Heat get back into it, and Jimmy made sure to send them packing. But
all in mind, Miami did this without their second best offensive scorer, Tyler Hero. That just puts it even more into perspective how much Jimmy carried it. And I will say, in that losing game, Giannis missed 13 free throws, and the team missed 17 collectively. So maybe in the offseason, Giannis better just be hitting that free throw line, because now he was bad like a few years ago, improved, and then now in playoffs again, same thing, same story. You can't make it at the charity strike, you're going to lose games. So
definitely.
But all credit to Miami. They toughed it out. I love Jimmy Butler. Is honestly one of my favorite players in the league. So good for them.
So moving on to the Western Conference side, obviously the Denver Nuggets, like I said earlier, are up 2-0. If you would have asked me, like before the playoffs started, I had picked the Suns to beat the Nuggets in this round, right? But after seeing the first round of how they struggled against the Clippers without Kawhi after 2 games, no PG at all, I was like, coming into this series now, I was thinking Denver has this, Denver has it in the bag, essentially. Obviously, they're up 2-0 right now, because if the Suns were struggling against a Clipper team with no Kawhi, no PG, they were definitely not going to overcome a team with Nikola Jokic, two-time MVP before Joel Embiid won it, obviously. And then they have Jamal Murray playing on another level. They have a team that's filled with depth. So it's all like, obviously, you could look at the Suns and be like, oh, they have Devin Booker, they have Kevin Durant, DeAndre Ayton, Chris Paul, So it's all like, you think that, but in the playoffs, depth really matters. So the way they both played in the first round, I'll have Denver in 6 in this one still. Denver up 2-0. Obviously, I think the Suns find a way to win game 3 and 4 at home, but after that, Denver finishes it in game 5 and 6. So what have you seen out of this series so far?
It's weird. I had the same exact analysis as you, because before the playoffs, I had Phoenix playing Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. When I watched them against Clippers, before the series started, I was just like, Denver's winning this in 5, maybe 6. I was like, probably 6 is what I'm going for. I'm not sure what games they're going to win each, but I had them in 6 because they just struggled so much against the Clippers without their stars.
Definitely.
And they're relying on 2 players. You literally relied on KD and Booker to drop 30 to 40 a game, and Paul and Ayton aren't going to give you more than between about 15 points a game, and the rest of their bench is just awful. I think they have the lowest scoring in the playoffs from the bench from any other team. So it just goes to show you they traded their depth for another star. I will say, if they're in the offseason, they're going to work. They're going to get some depth, and they're going to be a scary team next year. But I mean, I predicted wrong. I thought maybe those four stars on their team could outstand and make it to the Western Conference, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. I mean, Denver's looking great. Murray's playing really well. He had a great game 1, struggled game 2, but that game 1 he was just balling out, and that's what they need from him to go on. They have a lot of depth with Gordon, KCP,
Mhm.
Michael Porter, and Bruce Bowen, one of the really good defenders in the league too. So they're a deep team, and I think they got this one in the bag. So
Yeah, man, it's all like Jamal Murray had a bad game, and that didn't even matter because the Suns, aside from Chris Paul and sorry, not Chris Paul, KD and Devin Booker, if them two don't get 80, I want to say in a game, they're gonna lose because
yeah,
everybody else is not making up for it, like you said. DeAndre Ayton, you see all the talent there, but it's like I don't know, man. This man just looks like he doesn't want to. Like, obviously, he doesn't want to be there. He tried
hmm
leaving, and then the Suns matched the offer sheet from the Indiana Pacers.
hmm
So it's like I get you don't want to be there, but at this point, don't you at least want to try winning a championship? Like you have a chance. You have Kevin
hmm
Durant on your team, and it's like I just don't see that hunger out of DeAndre Ayton. And at this point, like I could say like how I was just saying right now, like yeah, he doesn't want to be there, but at the end of the day, be a professional, go out, do your job, you know. So that's all I have to say for this series. What about you?
I think I also said, I think I misspoke. I said Bruce Bowen.
I think
It's
man, Bruce. Yeah, I was
Bruce
gonna Bruce
Bruce
Brown,
Brown. Bruce Bowen was from the Spurs, and
The Spur
from the
legend.
yeah. I was just like, wait a minute. I was like, I said the wrong name. So yeah, Bruce Brown. But yeah, I
uh,
mean, I agree. I mean, at the end of the day, he's guarding a two-time reigning MVP. He's not going to do much. He's just not. He's not that guy defensively.
mhm.
Um, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with the Suns in the offseason. But I think it's safe to say that the series is looking like it's a wrap, but you never know. They can make it exciting. I expect them to win at least another 1 to 2 games. So
Yeah, yeah. And so now shifting to the West Coast, I want to say. We
hmm
obviously got our team, the Los Angeles Lakers, going against the Golden State Warriors. Like I said earlier, Lakers lead 1-0. And this game, man, I was watching this, and my palms are getting sweaty. My heart was racing because I'm like, the Lakers had a 14-point lead towards the end of the game, and then Curry goes off on his little Curry-like run and ties it up. And then I want to say it was on the potential go-ahead floater. Finally, they're able to stop him. AD comes out with a crucial block. And man, yeah, this whole game, the Lakers were so close to letting this one slip up, but luckily they were able to hold on, take a 1-0 series lead. And a lot of people are also criticizing Jordan Poole for that long three, right? But
hmm
I understand what they're saying in terms of that's a bad shot. If you want to say that's a bad shot, but honestly, that's their game. When have you ever seen the Warriors be literally like just less than a foot behind the 3-point line? They take those deep threes, you know. So it's not like
hmm
I can't blame Poole for that because I'm thanking him because sure it was a long shot and he missed it, right? But you can't really blame him because that's the type of shots that they take. And that's when Vando was also closing out on him. By the way, shout out Vando. Great job on Curry throughout
hmm
the game. That's not an easy task. So shout out Vando for that defensive effort. And everyone says get closer to the 3-point line. I feel like if he would have taken a dribble to get a little bit closer, Vando was already closing out. He's going to easily block that, or he'll make an even tougher shot. So I don't blame Poole for that shot. Thankfully, he missed because if he would have made it, everybody would have been going crazy, saying, "Oh, there's baddies on the sidelines," you know, on courtside. He did it for the
hmm
baddies and all that. So it's all like, but I don't know. I didn't mind the shot even if I was a Warrior fan, I wouldn't have minded that shot because he was wide open and those are his type of shots. But so what do you see from Game 1 of the Warriors Lakers series?
Well, talking about that shot specifically, I don't think it's a bad shot, but I also don't think it's a
Uh,
great shot. I think it's right in the
exactly.
middle.
Yeah.
Like it's acceptable. If he makes it, no one talks about it. Since he
Mm-hmm.
missed it, everyone's talking about it. Yeah, he was a little deep, but he was also pretty on point. He made 6 threes that game. So um, another thing was a little bit early in the shot clock. Uh, the Warriors did have a timeout that they could have called, but they didn't. They refused to do it because I think Kerr said he didn't want the defense to set up and he wanted to move quick.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I mean, still 10 seconds left. They could have tried to get a better shot or called timeout, maybe ran a play. But I mean, at the end of the day, the result is an L, and I'll take it as a Laker fan. But it's not a great shot, not a bad shot. But
I feel like
from
it was in the rhythm of the offense, so that's why it
yeah.
wasn't that bad of a shot.
Yeah, he stepped into it as well. Like he had a little bit of forward momentum going
Hmm.
forward. He didn't like step like fully up and like closer to three, but he's like moving up, so he's stepping kind of into rhythm to hit the shot. It's just a deep shot, but I mean, that's what they're known for. I mean, the guy who changed the NBA is on their team who shoots those
Yeah,
shots all the time. So if he's gonna shoot it and Poole's trying to mimic kind of Curry, he's gonna take that shot too because he's able to make it as well. From the series, honestly, I was watching the whole game. I felt we were in control the whole game. Like I know Warriors had their little runs. I know they're gonna make those threes. But I don't know. Just watching, I was just like, I just felt like we were in control the whole game. Just
hmm,
keeping the defense was solid. Our pace on offense was great. When they started making that run, that's when I started getting a little nervous. Like, oh, here comes the run. I was like, you guys need to seal this game out because game one's probably one of the most important games of the series.
definitely.
Um, Shout out to AD, fucking played like a monster
Yep.
both ends of the floor. This is the AD we need. Did not get subbed out the whole second half. Just played the whole second half. The reason he did, obviously, because we had a little bit more rest than the Warriors, so they wanted to extend him to make sure we get game one. Don't see him playing
Hmm.
a full second half in game two, uh, just to give him a little bit more rest. But LeBron forgot how to shoot threes, I guess, this playoffs, but he's still doing everything else. Once he gets that three ball to start falling,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
good. D'Lo was aggressive. If you watch, D'Lo was aggressive offensively, and that's what we need because
Hmm.
when he's aggressive offensively, it opens up for the whole floor. It was just
Yeah,
a
yeah.
great team effort. Vando locked down on Curry. I just want to say these stats real quick. When Vando was guarding Curry, he was 2 for 10, 1 for 5 from three, and he had 2 turnovers. And Vando contested 92% of Curry's shots,
Put the clamps on
locking down. It was a great team effort. Great to see it. Ham actually had some good rotations.
him.
For the most
Yeah,
part, called timeouts when they were making runs because we know he's reluctant to call timeouts when teams are
yeah,
making runs
yeah.
for some reason.
He decides to let them
Don't.
keep going. He's
Yeah, I
like,
was
nah,
just
let them
like,
cook.
that's the Budenholzer way. That's what he learned from Budenholzer. So,
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly.
but Ham did better. Still, Rui should play more than Troy Brown. But other than that, yeah, I think it was a great team win.
Yeah, yeah. So before moving on, real quick, Dillon Brooks next. But before we move on, I just want to leave the Lakers series on this. So Steph Curry, Jordan Poole, and Klay Thompson all hit 6 threes. Each of them had 6 threes versus the Lakers. The Lakers hit 6 threes total. So according to ESPN, it was the first time in playoff history a trio made 6 threes each in a playoff game and they still lost. So you guys, like anybody can say the Lakers shot terribly, right? But the majority of our points come in the paint. That's why we get so many foul calls. So
Mm-hmm.
another thing, real quick before we move on, a lot of people want to complain, saying that the free throw disparity was huge, and it's all like, how do you expect when the Warriors had almost half their shots coming from the 3-point land? No, unless AD is going to be fouling everybody on every single contest, you're not going to get as many free throws as the Lakers because we play in the paint. The Warriors play on the perimeter, so
Mm-hmm.
they can say whatever they want. But yeah, I just wanted to say that stat real quick before moving on.
Can I
So
make a
anything
statement
else?
on that?
Yeah, yeah.
So I just
Go
want to
ahead.
say this is a classic example of live by the three, die by the three. That's how the
Exactly.
Warriors play, and they die by three. And whoever says that the free throw disparity is like off did not watch the game. They literally just go straight to the box score, look
Yeah,
at the stats, did not watch the game. If you're watching the game, we have
you
since
would
the
see
All-Star
why.
break, we're the number one defensive team. Number one defensive team is obviously going to foul a lot less than any other team. Throughout the whole season, Warriors had the least amount of free throws out of any other team because they don't attack the paint. And every time they did, they got blocked. That's why we had, I think, was it 8 blocks that game or was it 10? A high
A
number of
shitload.
blocks.
A
Um,
shitload.
but it's just people don't watch the game. They just go, they look at the stat line, they're like, oh, well, they had this many free throws. Like, if you actually watch the game, we're attacking the paint almost every other time. They're just sitting shooting threes. And I saw this one tweet. It was this is the battle between the two ball and the three ball, and that's literally what it
Yeah,
was.
literally.
And I'm not even gonna lie, as watching the game, watching Warriors play, it is so boring because it's just the same thing every time. And that's why I say you're just gonna live by a three and they're gonna die by a three. In game one, they died by the three.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
it is.
So I just wanted, now that we're moving on real quick, Dillon Brooks situation. Obviously, the man that played himself out of his contract extension, I want to say, because now we had the report with Shams saying that the Memphis Grizzlies will not bring him back under any circumstances. I've never seen anybody say that before, but it's just crazy, man. It's funny to see all this. And real quick, here it is. It's one thing to say to Dillon Brooks, real quick.
Guangdong Tigers. Ni hao! Ni hao! Ni hao!
Like the NBA community says, get ready to learn Chinese, buddy. It's all like, you, come on, bro. It's all like, all you had to do, it's one thing if you suck at, like, you can suck. That doesn't matter. You can have a bad series, right? But his talking, his antics is what played him out of the Grizzlies not wanting to bring him back at this point, So, and then so this is going to be him when he's getting introduced with the Guangdong Tigers.
大家好，我叫 Dillon Brooks，我是广东湖队的选手for Dillon. 大家好，我叫 Dillon Brooks.
Oh man, dude, Dillon Brooks, man, I don't even feel bad. I honestly don't even feel bad because you did this to yourself, and then like if he doesn't want to go to China, I haven't. There's another team that might be interested in him. I don't know, maybe somewhere in the Philippines because he looks like he's making his way around over there. This man is going viral overseas, so he might have his pick of where he wants to play over there in the China-Taiwan area. All right, so I don't know. What do you have to say about the Dillon Brooks situation? One thing I want to show real quick. This is what his agent said earlier today. He obviously, like how I said earlier, about how Shams was talking all that talk about how under any circumstances they're not going to bring him back, and this is what his agent had to say. He tweeted at Shams saying the leader of spreading false news and attacking players. Why any player in the league talks to this guy blows my mind, because now it seems like Dillon Brooks just wants to make anything. He wants to make it all against the media. They made him the villain. So it's all like, I don't know, man. This man was talking all that talk, and then as soon as the Grizzlies start losing, he says, "I'm out." After every single media availability, doesn't want to say anything anymore. So what do you have to say about this? For the man that was saying so much, and as soon as they started losing, he's like, "Nah, I don't want to talk."
He's a true definition of fuck around and find out, because he's finding out now. Fucked around too much and didn't back it up. I just find it hilarious. It was so funny when he's blaming the media, making him out to be a villain, when he's leading the league, and I think it was Tex this season, or one of the leaders in Tex. I think one of the most flagrant fouls. Just talk shit the whole time. Just talk shit after press conferences. Like, you brought this upon yourself, and then instead of taking accountability and maybe talking to the media after, maybe like, oh, sometimes I say stuff like out of pocket, or just taking any accountability, just blaming it all on the media for him to be this way. I did not see his agent calling out Shams. I didn't know that was that happened. Yeah, but
they just came out earlier today.
To me, it's funny that, I mean, if Grizzlies aren't going to sign him, then obviously his agent's wrong. So we'll see in the coming future. But yeah, it's just funny, if you're going to talk all this shit, you got to at least back it up and at least play hard, because barely guarded LeBron. LeBron had great games against him, sealed like a game winner against him, or like a go ahead basket that and one in game 5, or was it game 4? I can't remember. But anyways, shit's just comedy to me at this point. If he just at least talk to media after, took accountability for his actions, or at least just talk to him, be like, yo, this is just a player I am. This is how I hype up my team. People would have a lot more respect for him. But the Grizzlies are now realizing he's more of a distraction than a help. He was a liability on offense. Everyone would fucking leave him open. They had him starting over Luke Kennard, which is the best three-point shooter in the league, and they're starting him over for his defensive presence. He had zero defensive presence against LeBron, and we're leaving him open when they're on offense. So just not a good look at all, because you're not doing anything on both ends of the floor. You're just out there getting your steps in, getting your cardio in, running around, and then just running your mouth after the game. So
essentially, Dillon Brooks, man, you brought this all on yourself, man. I can't.
Beating the Grizzlies was so satisfying to talk all that shit. Before too. That's
shit, man. I don't know, man. That's why I said earlier. I don't even feel bad making these jokes because this guy brought it on himself and like, oh shit, wait, maybe they're getting a call real quick. One second. It's from Guangdong, China. The Tigers are calling him. Wait, hold up. I'll let it go to voicemail. Maybe they'll offer him a contract. We'll see later. But yeah, man.
It's just too funny.
Anything else you want to say before we move on to Draymond?
Just at the end of the day, I don't feel bad either because you brought it upon yourself. That's why when people talk shit, you find out. So now he's finding out.
Yeah, man. Like how you said, fuck around and find out. But yeah, man. I'm not. I don't feel bad. I don't feel 1 ounce of sorrow or feeling bad for him at all. So I'm just gonna leave it off with this one more time.
Guangdong Tiger.
That's the last thing.
Guangdong
Tiger. That's it. All right. So moving on to Draymond now. Just real quick before we wrap it up. Draymond Green, obviously we saw it. I want to say it was either before the season started or at the beginning of the season. He had said that if the Warriors are playing or LeBron might break the record, he's going to go watch LeBron, right? So obviously we all know that Draymond is one of LeBron's biggest fans. So we thought, he's just saying that just to say it, you know. But it turns out that this man was 100% serious on going. So real quick right here, we have this. I was reported the other day that Draymond was going to go to the game. But I can't believe this man asked for permission. He asked the Warriors for permission to go see LeBron break the record. And, oh, my God, I can't believe this. So right here. It says, this is Draymond Green on why he didn't go see LeBron James break the all-time scoring record in LA. So he said, I was definitely going. I was doing the broadcast, and Steve Kerr, the Warriors head coach, I don't think that'll be great for our team. While we're flying out on the road, you're flying to LA. Draymond said, all right, respect, no problem. I'll be there with my team. So they were on their way to Portland. So they didn't have a game, but how does Draymond actually have the courage to be like, "Hey, coach, can I go see LeBron break the record? I know we have a game tomorrow, but I swear I'll be back in time." It's like, how, dude? Like, come on! Like, if you guys would have been having like a couple of days off in between, all right, I would have understood. But you're in between, like traveling to Portland. Obviously, it's not far, but you're traveling to Portland. You need to practice that day, and I don't know, dude. I can't believe he actually asked. What do you have to say about this?
I don't know. I'm on both sides. I find it just very funny that he just like wanted to leave his team to go. But at the end of the day, like if you're really close friends with someone, you kind of want to be there to witness like history. So I'm on like both sides. Yeah. But to me, it was just funny. I was gonna ask you when he like stated, did a reporter ask him, or did he just like say this randomly on his podcast?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I just saw this. I saw this on Twitter. I haven't looked too much into it, but I saw it on Twitter, and I was all like, it was something from ESPN. So I didn't look too far into it, but yeah.
I find it funny if he just brought it up on his podcast because it's almost like self-glamorizing. It's like, yeah, see, look, I'm there for my team. Like, I didn't go see LeBron's thing. Like, I decided to be with my team. So he's like says it for himself to make him look out to be like a good like teammate. So if you just said it like randomly without him asking, I find it a lot more funnier than it already is if that's the case. But if a reporter asks him, he's just saying it. I still find it funny, but maybe just not as funny. Like, I understand, like, you want to support your friend, but I don't know. It's pretty funny. I also saw I saw this meme when he got a tech in Game 1 against the Lakers, and then it's just a meme, a gif of someone winking, and it's like LeBron or Dre to LeBron after he got the tech, like winking. I'm like, yeah, I got you. Like, I'm getting the tech for you. Like, helping us and shit.
Everyone's saying that when Draymond's on the court, it's 6-on-4 for the Lakers because Draymond's just doing whatever is in the best interest of LeBron. Dude, that's funny. I honestly thought that it was from his podcast. I wish I would have looked a little more into it, but it was from. I saw that on ESPN, and it's just the fact that he actually asked for permission.
I think
because it's per Mark Spears. So
I think a good quote is he went from kicking LeBron in the nuts to being on his nuts.
Yeah. So biggest LeBron, like, oh, you already said it. Biggest LeBron Dick Writer award goes to Draymond Green. Congratulations. Sorry you couldn't be there. I was there in attendance for you. Don't worry. I have a video if you want me to send it to you. But yeah. Anything else you have to say on this before wrapping up?
No, just hopefully Lakers keep up the pace against the Warriors and we go out.
Lakers in 6.
Lakers in 6. I had them in 7 after watching Game 1. I think I'm going to 6, to be honest with you.
Before the series started, I had them in 6. If they win tonight, Lakers sweeping. That's all I'm going to say. If they win tonight, they sweep. If they lose tonight, then it'll be a 6.
Did you see who is on the reffing officiating team?
No, I have not, but don't tell me Foster.
Huh? No, it was what I forgot his name, but he was the ref on the baseline when he played against the Celtics. Or he's
that man is a Celtic fan. That man is a Celtic fan.
When Pat Bev went up to him and showed him the camera, that's the ref that's
no, that man is a Celtic fan.
Tonight.
I am dead ass. Let me see if I still have this in my bookmarks real quick. That man is a Celtic fan. He had to deactivate his Twitter because people were like found his wife's Twitter and they're in full on Celtic gear.
Celtics gear, yeah.
Please tell me I still have. Oh, I do. It's right here. Oh my god, I cannot. It's from Lake Show Yo. He says you can't make this shit up, dude. And it is that there's no way this guy is on it.
He is. And the funny part is everyone's talking about like because we had like the free throw disparity in Game 1 because they didn't watch it. So they bringing this guy to take us
this
down
guy.
In Game 2. Yep.
You're talking about this guy.
He's on the officiating team tonight.
So this is from her his husband, his wife's account, all right? This guy is the guy that Pat Bev showed the camera to.
Yep.
And then like after that game, Lake Show Yo posted this. You can't make this shit up. Because look, this is his wife's account. They're in Celtics gear. A Celtic fan was officiating a Celtic versus Lakers game. And that was when they lost because Jason Tatum slapped the shit out of fucking LeBron's forearm and he didn't call it. Oh my god.
Crazy.
If we lose tonight, I'm pulling a Chris Paul. It was because of the ref. AKA Chris Paul versus Scott Foster. But yeah, man, that is crazy. There's no way.
You just saw it today. Get prepared.
Whatever.
We'll see how it goes.
I don't care. If we lose today, it doesn't matter. As long as he doesn't officiate another game, Lakers will win in 6. So anything else you want to say before taking off?
No, that's it. Just want to give you that little news.
Yeah,
brighten up your day a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, but that's all I have for today's episode. Thank you, Daniel, for joining us for episode 12 of the Sports Planet podcast. And to the listeners, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the very next episode of the Sports Planet podcast.
Life is good. I've decided now I'm ready.